Right, good morning, students. This is Eddie Pretorius, your BCA lecturer, subject coordinator for computers, business computer applications. And today, students, as I promised, most of you guys, you are attending tutorials and things, but we're doing a recap session also on all our Excel activities. And I'm going to focus on exercise 3.4, 3.5, and 3.6, which we will be covering in this week and next week. Okay, so I shared my application screen and we are almost good to go. Let me just see here. Okay, microphone is on, the recording is on. And let's start. Let me minimize my screen. So there's 3.4, 3.5, 3.6. You will find it on Blackboard. Let me just check. Let's just close up here and close up there. And you will find it in Unit 3. It was open. And I'm talking about this exercise, that exercise, and that exercise. This is 3 very important exercises for your June exam, students. Very important formulas. Very important formulas for you to know. So we're going to be focusing on count blank and count if, today's date, and a ticks today's date, as well as substitution, another substitution exercise, and another concatenate, the joining of words exercise. So if you understand the word substitution, we are going to change a word and substitute it for another word. Anyway, so we'll get to that when we get there. So I'm going to start with 3.4, then move to 3.5 and 3.6, but this is what I am talking about right now. And then obviously we did some conditional formatting in Unit 3.3. And this is also very important for your June exams. Imports and exports. We're going to take a table out of Access and we're going to move it into Excel. But we will get to that when we do it in class, and I will do a lesson, the same lesson, hopefully if I have time, on the Blackboard Collaborate as a video recording. Okay, so let's focus on these 3 exercises today. So I'm going to minimize my screen and I'm going to open up exercise 3.4. And the questions and the starter file. I'm going to work with those 2. The same for 3.5 and the same for 3.6. And here is the solutions. As I promised, students, the solutions you will find in the BCA tutorial. You will find it over here. Let's scroll down a little bit more down. There we go. I've also uploaded the mock test 1 for June and the mock test 2 for June, the submission links and the exercises for you to focus on, which will be opened tomorrow, the 14th of April, and it will close on the 6th. Let's see. There we go. Tomorrow, the 14th at 8 o'clock, these 2 mock tests will be open up and we will go through it in class most definitely. I'm sure the tutors are going through it as well. And obviously over here is the solutions for the 8 exercises that we're busy with right now, which is Unit 3, 3.1, 3.2, 3.3, right up to 3.8, and which we're going to focus on 3.4, 5, and 6 now, so the solutions will also be in there. I just need to change that opening and closing date to the 1st of June. I think we can make it next week, Monday, after Easter public holiday, the 18th, 19th, 20th, around about there. As at the 21st, 22nd, that time. Then I will open it up for you to verify your work with the answers over here. So in the BCA tab or folder in content, here is also preparation for June exam. All right. Let me exit, let me minimize. And let's start with 3.4 questions and the starter or data file. And let's make the screen a little bit bigger so everybody can see. Nice exercise. Very important things over here that we're going to cover. Not concat, concatenate. There's a difference of the two. So let's open up the starter file and I will shade in with a yellow as we finish each and every exercise. Like I said in class, there are 2 or 3 types of today's date formulas. There's the simple one, which I will do with you, and then there is the text today. And yes, it must be written in a certain sequence, the way we write the dates out. And I will show you. And yes, it is June exam, so you need to know it. Substitution will come in when we're going to change a word to another word and change a word to another word. So data 1, we are going to change to name. Data 2, we're going to change to surname, which I will show you on the starter file as we go along. So let's open up the starter data file, which is over there. All right. Let's have a little bit of water. So as you can see, I am opening up a blank sheet. So what is going on here? That means I am currently in sheet 2. I must move to sheet 1. And here we are. Okay. I just took a sip of water now in between. And let's start. The clock is ticking. Question 1, open up the exercise, which we did do now and which we will save. We normally do this at the end of, not document of the exercise, or what you want to call it, activity. Same thing. So we normally do this at the end of the exercise or activity. All right, question 2, deleting sheets. We covered that in class, people. So on sheet 2, I right click with my mouse and I left click on delete, or if you want to rename it, or you want to add a color tab, like I showed you in class, or you want to insert a new sheet. But in this case, they want me to delete the sheet and you will see it will disappear over there. So now we're only working on one sheet. Okay, cool. Now the real nitty-gritty starts. In cell C2, insert a today's date, a text today's date formula using the today's date function, but in a particular sequence, which is year, slash or dash with over division sign, and a month, and a day. So in class, in one of the previous exercises, roughly over here, we used the normal simple today's date, which today is the 13th of April, 2025. So I'm going to show you the formula way, if I, a manual way, if I say is equal to, and I type in today, there's the word today that appears over there. Let's make the screen, okay, I can't, yeah, I'll make it bigger now. I click on there. When we open up a bracket, we shift on the keyboard with the 0, close the bracket and enter. Today is the 13th of April, 2025. Let's make the screen a bit bigger. I say, now you can see more clearer. Then obviously that's the manual way, which is the same way if we go to formulas. Let's see, recently used. Okay, let's go and find today's date on my laptop. And I search for today. And I say go. And there's the word today. Pardon, I double click on it. The brackets is already closed for me on that side. And I just click on OK. Didn't we get to the stat? Look at the formula bar. And I click on that one. Look at the formula bar. It's the same thing. I just did this. Let me right click, cut this. I just did this. Click away. Manually. And this is using the formula tab, searching, spelling, searching for the today's date function. But now, let's double click and let's make it, let me just scroll there. That is the basic one, the straightforward one. Now there is a thing called the text today's function with a particular with a sequence that we must follow. Now, it gets tricky, people, and now this one will not be found in the formula. This one you have to type out on its own, like I did this one manually. And we have a look over here. In cell C3, we're going to do the following. Is equal to text. I click on that, double click. I type in today. I double click on that one. And in the today's formula, they want me to type it in a certain sequence, which is inverted commas, Y. That represents 2025 with a dash or a division sign, month, with a dash or division sign, and today's day. So in other words, 2025 of the 04th month of the 13th date. So when I open an inverted comma over there, I must close it. Shift with the inverted comma on the key close, and I must shift and close my bracket. Let's see what happens. There's something missing here. Now, what is that something? Let's see. Okay. That bracket, I think, must fall away. And a semicolon must be inserted, because how can I have two brackets open on my left and only one closed on my right? Let's see what the formula tells me now. And I click on the N button of my keyboard and let me click on enter. Oh, okay, it gives me value. So now what do we do? Okay, I tried the semicolon. Let me try a comma. Let me go to end again and let me see. Still something wrong with this formula. Yes, something I'm doing wrong over here. That is what this formula is telling me. Now, let me see. Let's do the semicolon again. Close brackets, open, close over there. Let's go to end and let's check. There we go, people. And I'm going to take this, I'm going to copy this formula and I'm going to paste it in a cell over there, but it doesn't want to paste now. So I'm going to go quickly into a Word document underneath this question paper over here. Enter, and I'm going to paste it over there. So when they speak, and let's make it a little bit bigger. When they speak about the text today's date, they are referring to this formula and end. Let's enter this to prevent confusion. They're referring to that formula over there. The simple, straightforward one is equal to today, open brackets, close brackets, enter. So this is the straightforward today, and that is enter, and let's enter it. Let's split the two up. The text today, this is how the formula is written. And the normal today, that is how the formula is written. So watch out for this for the June exam, students. Very important. Yes, it's probably 3-4 marks. All right. So let me just delete that. You watch the recording. It will be here. And backspace. And I'm back to my questions. So that is the text today's date, students. Next formula is substitute and that one over there, because they kind of go hand in hand. So now we're going to focus on question 4 and question 5. They want me to change the name daughter1. Let's backspace. And let me exit and close this up here just to show you the difference of the two formulas. They want me to change this word, and they want me to not replace, they want me to use a formula called substitute and type the word name at the bottom. So the question will read, in B5, use the substitute formula to change the name daughter1 to name. In C5, use the substitute formula to change the daughter2 to the word surname. So the name and surname of these people over here, which were current and previous lecturers of CPUT, will be written as a heading, like gender, like that, and like that. So now we're going to use a feature called the substitute formula in B5 and C5 by using the daughter cell. Let's make it another color. In B4, and that daughter2 for surname, also in C4. So we're going to use substitute formula, and I'm going to show you how it looks in the formula tab. Now remember, people, that today's date you can use the formula. You can use the formula to find the today's date, the straightforward one. But in the text today's formula, you need to use your manual typing. All right. So anyway, where is it now? Let's do it again quickly. Is equal to text. Double click. Today, open, close. Semicolon. Open inverted commas. Yeah. Dash. Or they can ask you a hyphen or a minus sign. And the month. This is the sequence that they want me to write the date in. And another dash and day. And close my brackets. And when I click on enter on my keyboard, it's supposed to work. Let's see. Okay. Why is today value? Again, problems. Today. Open, close brackets, semicolon. Oh, I know what I made a mistake. I forgot when you open inverted commas, we must close the inverted commas. Let's see now. Say. And that's the formula over there. So anyway, people, that's the today's date. The year, the month, the date. Y, M, D. Right, back to the substitute. Here we go. Formula. Insert a function, and we're going to go search for the word substitute. Let's see what they say. I go. And there's the word. We're going to use the substitute formula. Not the replace formula, not the change formula, the substitute formula. And I click on, let's scroll up a little bit. In my cell, you see, I place my answer where I want. I place my cell block where I want my answer to appear, because I want the word name to appear in B5. I want the surname to appear in C5. And I click on OK. Right. Step 1. What is the text or the area that I want to first use to make the change? And I'm going to click on cell B4, which is daughter1. Can you see it over there? Now they want me to type, what do you see in the old text? I see the word daughter1, and you must remember to type it the same way you see it, with a capital D and a space in between 1. And I want to change it to a new text called name. But now what's missing here? What do you see here? I see inverted commas. I see inverted commas over there. The word name is just there. Let me just see what this tells me. Okay, it's already done for me. In that instant number block, you don't type anything, or you can type the word number 1. But I'm first going to leave it blank, and let's see what happens. Now, exactly the same thing here we're going to do for the surname. But let me click on OK to see if it works. And it does. There we go. That is the substitute formula by clicking first on B for the name of daughter 1. What is the name that I want to change, which is daughter 1? And I'm going to change it to the word name. Inverted commas, inverted commas. Can you see? And I click on enter and voila. Now the same thing I'm going to do for daughter 2, which we want to rename or change or substitute to surname. Just hold on, a sip of water. Right. Step 1. I place my cursor where I want my answer to appear. Step 2. I've used the substitute recently, so let's go find it. And there's it right at the top. And I click on it. And the menu appears. Now I want the current text, which is in my block, daughter 2. Can you see there? The old text is daughter 2. And I want to change it to a new name, a new text called or named surname. Can you see it? You see the menu? This one was C3 with daughter 1 and name. Surname is C4. C4. Surname, the answer to be in C5. And we changed it to a new name from daughter 2 to surname. 3 marks, people. June exams, 3, 4 marks. Very important. Look at the formula bar. That is for surname. Look at the formula bar for name in this exercise. There will be another exercise which we're going to do later, substitute, which I will show you. Right. This is the second formula basically we covered in this exercise. So we did today's date and we did the text today's date. Now we did substitution where we changed daughter 1 to name and substituting the daughter 2 for surname. Now we're going to focus on the concatenate formula. In E6, that's where we're going to place our answer. We want to use this formula to join the surname with the name with using a dash sign in between the words. And when we get the answer, we need to autofill that little black box in the bottom right hand side of your cell and pull this formula down so that it applies to all. So that it applies to all those people's surnames and names. So the focus area is E6. They want me to take this concatenate formula and join the name with the surname of B6 and C6. Let's see. B6, or shall I say join the surname with a name. Okay. Join the surname with a name. In other words, back to front. It's not going to be Eddie Pretorius written here. It's going to be Pretorius with a dash sign, Eddie written here. The surname or your second name first. So it's going to be Mr. Sia Sandy Group E. It's going to be Sandy Sia. Mr. Andre Aesop Group E and F is going to be Aesop Andre written in here. Miss Lethuli, Lethuli is going to be Lethuli. Lowethu written there. When it comes to Mrs. Madanaya, Muhammad is going to be Muhammad Madanaya. Make sense? So it's concatenate feature is, the purpose of it is to join words together in 2 or 3 separate cell blocks or columns into one cell column. That's the purpose of concatenate. Joining of words, joining of phrases, joining of names, but in separate spaces or in separate cells, but placing it into one cell block or square, whatever you want to call it. And when we speak about autofill, it's that little black box over there. Can you see the black cross where we're going to pull this, click with your mouse on that black cross and pull the formula down. So, concatenate. Let's go search it and go find it in the formulas. Let's see if I used it. Oh, I did. I used it recently, and there it is. What is my first text? They want me to join my surname. In the second bar, they want me to do what? They want me to use a dash sign or a division sign as a space in between the surname and the name, which I'm going to do now. Inverted commas, the division sign, inverted commas. That must be written in inverted commas. Why, sir? Because it represents a space. It represents an item, a symbol. And the last text of that is surname, can you see? With a space in between with the name. And when I click on OK, let's see what happens. Eddie Pretorius, but they want me to join the surname with the name Pretorius Eddie. Sia Sandy, they want me to join the surname with the name. It's going to be Sandy-Sia. Look at the formula, look at the formula, look at the formula bar. All right. Concatenate. Click on the one, so you need to read your question carefully. They can ask you to join a name with a surname, then it's going to be Eddie Pretorius. But in this case, they asked me to join the surname with the name, the other way around. Watch out for these things, students. Don't get caught out. Last but not least, we spoke about auto-sum, we spoke about auto-fitting columns and rows, and we spoke about auto-fill. The little black box in the bottom right-hand corner or green box, and I click on there until you get a little black cross. I click, left click with my mouse, and I keep my finger on the mouse, and I pull it all the way down. And I release my finger. There we go. 3 marks plus the autofill, 4 marks, students. We're going to take this further now. That's text to column is the one formula. Substitute is the second formula. The third formula we did right now is concatenate, joining of words and phrases. That's the third formula. Now we're going to focus on a count if and a count blank. Yes, June exams. Let's see, highlight. And highlight. That's the focus area. Blue. Count the blank data. There we go. Right. The next 2 formulas. Take note. Count if and count blank. What do you understand by it? Now let's look here. They want me to use the question asked in cell D16, in cell D16 and F16, but let's first focus on D. They want me to use the count if formula to count the number of females. So in this column over here, you see the word male and female. This is the gender of each and every lecturer. So Eddie Pretorius is a male. Mr. Smuts is a male. Mrs. Harker is a female. Same for Miss Morris. Same for Mr. Sander. Is a male. So now they want, in this small exercise, you know and I know we can count 1, 2, 3. I see 3 female names and I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 male names. Right. They only want me to use a certain function or feature or formula only to focus on to count the females in this column D range from D6 to D15. So you know and I know there are 3 females, but there's a way to do it and to show it and to calculate it. And it goes something like this. Students, place your cursor in D16. We are going to use the COUNTIF formula to count the number of females in this range from D6 to D15. Formulas, let's see, recently used. There's a if, but it's not a COUNTIF. So let's go search for it. Click away and say COUNTIF. Let's go find it and go. And there it is at the bottom. And I double click. And this menu open. What is my range? My range is the focus. Let's move it a little bit there. Is my focus area from D6, like I said, to D16. What is inside that range? The criteria that I'm focusing on, I only want the answer, or in this case, I only want to find the number of females. I want to count it. And I count 3. And I say, I type in that criteria, I only want female. Now, what am I doing wrong? What's wrong with this formula? Because normally over here they will give me an answer, but the answer is not. But we know there's 1, 2, 3. What comes to mind? Eddie, sir, you forgot your inverted commas. We close it. And we open it before if and you know when I know we counted 3 and there's the 1, 2, 3. And when I click on OK, can you see female in inverted commas? Without inverted commas, the answer will be naught. And I say, okay. And there's the formula over there. So the range is, this is the focus area. What's inside this focus area? I see male and female. But what do they want me to search for? What do they want me to count? What do they want me to calculate? They want me to calculate only and count the number of, in this case, females in this range. I can do it exactly at the bottom over there. And I say, COUNTIF again. It will be recently used. I want to count the males in this range. So I select the range again. And I only want to count the open brackets. Male, not males. The typing must be exactly the same like the typing in there. And I close my brackets, and we said 7 earlier on. There's my answer, 7. And when I say, okay, 7 males are counted and 3 females are counted. Same formula, but we're focusing on 2 different agendas. The one is male and the one is female. Exactly, but I'm going to delete this because the question was only to focus on the females. So far, so good. That is the COUNTIF, and we're going to do more of this in the other exercises. Right, that's formula number 4, students. So we did text to columns. Text to columns. Today's date using the basic today's date and the text today. We did the substitution on name and surname. We did the what? The concatenate of joining of words. And we did the what? We did COUNTIF now, counting the number of females within a certain range. Now, the last formula here, guys, is the count blank formula. Now, you know and I know 1. There's no information there. There's a bracket there. This is just rough data. This is just other mixed data. But I noticed something in this data here. That is a blank cell. There's no information inside. That is a blank cell. There's no information inside. That's also a blank cell. And that is a blank cell. So how many blank cells do I count here? I count 1, 2, 3, 4. That's a value, that's an item, that's a data, that's a number, that's a bracket, that's whatever. But that one is blank, 2 is blank, 3 is blank, and I count 4 blank cells. But now we know the answer is 4, but there is a way of typing it out or using a formula to determine the number of blank cells. Right. In 16, if use a function to count the number of blank data. Same range, F6 to F15. We used here D, but we're working in column F. So, count blank formula. In there, I place my answer where I want my answer, and let's go search it. And let's go see. Count blank formula and go. And there it is. And I double click. I want to determine, let's move it up a bit, in this range, how many cells are blank. And I click on there and I pull my mouse down, left click, and I release my finger. And what do I see there? I see 4 blank cells in the range between F6 and F15. And I say, okay, 2 marks June exams, and voila. That is the count. Look at the formula again over there. That's the count blank. That's the count if. That is the ticks today. That is the concatenate. So we covered 4 big time formulas today. The ticks today, substitution, number 2, number 3, joining of words, concatenate, number 4, count if formula to determine criteria of male or female in this exercise, and also a count blank to determine to count the number of blank cells within a range. Very important exercise, people. Very important. June exams. This gives you an overview of what really your June exams are about. So you're going to be tested on that. Text today. You're going to be tested on substitution. You're going to be tested on concatenate. You're going to be tested on count if. You're going to be tested on count blank. This is easy 20 to 22 marks of your June exam, students. So this is an important exercise that and we're going to do it in class, but you need to watch the video too. You need to back it up. And that mock test is very important. Let's see what the other questions tell us. In the gender column, apply conditional formatting, which we did do in class, and only highlight the female names. So it's highlighting a text with a dark green or yellow or blue or pink, but I want the green color in this example. Step 1. Column, the gender is the focus area. So we're going to select, go back into this data, we are going to select this range. D5 or D6 to D15. Step 2, home tab. Home, these are tabs or menus. Menus or tabs. And there it is, conditional formatting. We are going to highlight the cells that contain the word what? Cells that contains the text. We did this one in class. We did that one in class in the previous exercise. The word text that contains the word, not male in this case. We're going to type in female. But what color do they want me to use? Green, yellow, red, green. So only the green 3 females are going to be highlighted, and by using another feature called the conditional formatting, and I click on OK, there it is, and I click anywhere away, I've highlighted the females in column D, 6 to D15 within my range, focusing on the ticks of female only, using a green color with the formula called conditional formatting over there. So let's do it again and say maybe they want me to highlight the males. And you know there are 7 males. Conditional formatting, highlight cells, the text that contain males in this case. And they don't want me to, or capital M, they backspace, backspace, backspace. Ah man, end. Type the word just delete that whole word over there. Delete and type in males. There we go. But maybe they want me to use the yellow font, not the green or not the red. Let's see yellow. And we're going to count 7 yellow ticks that we highlighted using the text feature of highlighting cells. And why didn't it? Oh, what did I do? I forgot to select my range. Or what happened now? I've already used conditional formatting in this column. So it won't allow me to use conditional formatting again. Let's see. Select my range. Conditional formatting, highlight. Text that contains the word, there's a male, but not using the pink color, using the yellow color. You know why it's not working? Because we already used the conditional formatting to determine the female. So what do I do now? I select this whole column and I'm going to clear all the formatting rules from my selected cells from D6. I'm going to clear the rules. It's blank now. Now I'm going to start over by doing conditional formatting, selecting the cells that contains the ticks of males only. Male, but using the yellow. But why is the females also? Because you see the formula I've already did. That's why. Because only male, females not supposed to be highlighted. Let's see what this arrow tells now. That's just going up and down. And if I use red, I clear the rules. Let me say, okay, let me clear the rules again. Let me clear all the rules from the entire sheet. Let's see now. Select my column, formatting, highlight, text that contains. No, but it's then colored in again. Undo, 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 undo. There's the females. Now I'm going to clear the rules. But before I do it, let me first select. Clear the rules of the selected cells. Right. Apply the conditional formatting to males only. I select my range, conditional format, highlight the text that contains, let's see, female, male. There's something wrong here. It's supposed to clear all the bells. Only the males are supposed to appear, but it's fine. Let's see females again. See, there the red females appear. Anyway, students, that is conditional formatting. You get it right. You do it right first time. Female. And they want me to use the green color. And I say, okay. And there it is. So that's conditional formatting. Another thing that's important. We did it in, I think it's 3.3 or 3.2. So what's text today? It is substituting surname with that, and substituting the data 2 for the surname, data 1 for name, data 2 for surname. Formula 3, concatenate. Formula 4, the count if, and we're going to count the number of females using the count if. Formula 5, we're going to use the count blank formula to count the number of blank cells over there. Formula 6, we're going to use conditional formatting to highlight only the females, the ticks that contain females. So that's quite a hectic exercise where we did about 5 or 6 formulas in here. What else do they want me to do? Oh, headers and footers. We did this in class. When we do headers and footers, we do it in the what view? The page layout view. Over there. Page layout. View. Very normal. Page layout. In the top left-hand corner, they want me to do what? Your name and surname. Eddie Pretorius. In the top right-hand corner, what do you see here? If I click away, it disappears. If I click in that cell or there, that header and footer disappears. I want me to put in the current time. And I click away. Just a few seconds. Hold on. What's wrong? Okay, it's nothing. Right, where were we? Now we move to what we call, it's 11:15. It's 11:15. Now they want the current time. Perfect. In the bottom right-hand corner, center, read the question properly. In the center, they want you to type your student number, or in my case, my staff number. And in the bottom right-hand corner, what else do they want me to do? My student class group. In other words, I am FT class lecturer of group A, B, C, J. Ms. Muhammad is FTJ. So you type in your class group over there, or ECP, or PTA, or Wellington FWA. So you type in your class group, group B, FT, for example. All right. So that is headers. And I click away, headers and footers. And we spoke about it for printing purposes. And students, this is exercise, and we can switch back to what view? To the normal view over there, or view tab, back to normal, which you won't see here, because it's for print preview purposes, it will be at the bottom. All right, students, this is exercise 3.4. Let me save and exit. And this over here is the questions. So this is important. Outcomes. Today's date. Substitution. Concatenate. If blank. Conditional formatting and headers and footers. Which we did. So this is like my answer sheet. There's your name and surname. Substitute. There is my concatenators over here. This is my what? My conditional formatting and my count if answer. My count blank, the number of cells, and I join the words concatenate. Very important exercise, people. Right, next one. Which won't be long. It's a quickie. 3.5. Also a substitute function with email addresses. Let's have a look. The starter file. Okay. Freeze the first two rows. We did this in class. If I'm going to freeze the first two rows, that means I must place my cursor in the third cell block, in this row over here. And I'm going to go to view. And I'm going to say freeze panes. Left click. And I'm going to say freeze the panes. You see that imaginary line over there? That means the two cells at the top is frozen. So if I scroll with my mouse up, down, what do you notice here? The first two rows are fixed. They are frozen. They're not moving. They're standing still. They're locked in a formula. And I can unlock it by unfreezing the panes. They can ask me to freeze 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Freeze the first 8 rows, and I place my cursor in row number 9, or in that row over there, and I'm going to say freeze panes. What do you see now? Everything moves except the first 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 rows. The first 8 rows are fixed. So always place your cursor at the row below so that it can be applied to the rows above. The row below, unfreeze it. They want me to freeze the first 2 rows in row 3. And I'm going to apply the freeze panes so that the top 2 rows stays fixed. All right, that's freezing panes, students. Right, substitute. Again, now in this exercise, they want me to change the word Marvel to Detective Comics. Now, you know the Hulk and Iron Man and Wolverine and X-Men. They are all the Marvel characters in the comic scientific world. Then we also have the Supermans, the Batmans, and the Catwoman, and the Suicide Squad. They are what? They are the Detective Comics. So we must change this email address here that we see. Let's make the screen bigger. Say. We must change this email address that see the word Marvel. Marvel. They want me to change to Detective Comic, Detective Comic, Detective Comic over there. So in column or cell C3 over here, I'm going to apply the what formula? Recently used the substitute formula, and I'm going to click in my text, which is B3, because that is where I want to start. And what is the word in the old text that I want to change? The current word is Marvel, that I want to change to the new word, which is Detective. What's it? Oh, there's a Detective Comics. And I click in the last one over there. But remember, an email address is always written in one word. One word. Just hold on. Just remember that email addresses is always in one word, but no spaces in between. So what do I see here? What do I see as a demo? The Superman at Marvel is now changed to the Superman at Detective Comics. So we clicked on the cell, which is that area of concern. What is the word inside there, the old word that you want to change now or substitute to a new word called the Detective Comics? And I click on OK. So that word has been substituted now with a new word called Detective Comics. And what's the last part over here? On the, at the bottom right-hand corner, click with your mouse on the black cross. They want me to autofill so that this formula applies to the rest of all the other wording on the left-hand side. All the Batman, the Wonder Woman, and Cyborg, they are all going to change to Detective Comics. Let's click on there. There is your substitute formula. The text that's in there. What's inside that text? The old word Marvel. What's the new word? Detective Comics. And we click on OK or enter with our keyboard and voila. That is 3.5 people. Quick. And I save and I exit. That's your exercise 5. What's it? 3.5. 3.6. Last exercise. Concatenate. We're going to join again a couple of words. This is like a recap of 3.4. And where is the starter file? Solution. Oh, here's the starter file. Because the questions is in the starter file. Oh. My focus area here, we know how to merge and center, inserting a new column, change the cell, or format painter, autofill, complete the concatenate formula by joining the first name. That's the focus, what I want to focus on today. The other stuff is all repeats of the other exercises. Merge and center the heading. So let's first see. Merge and center the heading across all the data. That button over there. Change it to a color, background color of your choice. Fill with color, fill color, yellow. I'm just going to use that. In cell A3, change the number node text to font size 12 and a body. Font size 12 and the font a body over there. Apply the format painter to the rest of the other headings over there, or subheadings. That's your main heading. That's the subheadings. Now watch. You see that button over there that looks like a paintbrush? It's called the format painter. So step 1, I click on the number, I click on format painter, and I click on surname. I click on surname, I click on format painter, I click on first name. In other words, I must make that and that and that look like number. and again Format Painter for job position. Auto fit all the columns, straightforward, double click, double click, double click, double click. But what did I do? I merged and center across column E. There's no data in there, so I need to unmerge this, take it away, and remerge this again over there to D, click it back so that the data runs in line with the information, and I need to take that color away over there, which is not needed, and I go into color and I say no fill. Make sense? So now the information runs exactly in line with all of that over there. So what now? Just hold on, students. Fluffy, what is your story? Sorry, man. Sorry, students, it's the dog. I just opened the door for the doggy. Anyway, so let's do it again. Let me take this away and let me make it again. Kalarabi and 11. They want us to use the Format Painter in the number. They first want us to format this. Changing the size to 12. Changing the font to a body. And what did I speak about in class? In case they want us to change it to number 15. There's no number 15 over there. We type it in. 15. And we change it to 15. Or 13, or 17, or 21. Can you see there's no other number there? So watch out for that. Another exam question, 15. But in this case, they want me to use 12. Now they want me to use that Format Painter to apply. I click away. Step 1, click on there. Use the Format Painter and apply it to surname. Click away. Click on surname. Use the Format Painter and apply it to the first name. Click away. Last one. Click on either one or that one or any one of the three. I apply Format Painter and I click on job position. It's almost like a copy paste. Like another way of using copy paste. I'm just showing you another feature called the Format Painter. Right. Auto fit the columns. Let me just shade that in yellow that we know, or blue. We know we finished those things, and let's auto fit. Auto fit. I think we did it already. Auto fit and auto fit. So we can see all the words and we can see all the headings and subheadings in one cell block. There's no hash signs. Make sense? Now, complete the concatenate formula by joining the first name. Let's make this bigger. Let's make this bigger so we can see. Complete the concatenate formula. Let's make it a different color so we know we're busy working with that one. Green. Name by joining the first name and surname in cell D4. Why D4? Oh, why D4? Because look at question number 2. We're going to insert a new column after the first name and name it combined name. Take note. After the D, in here, can you see there? I right click with my mouse and I say insert left click. I made a new column. And inside this column, we must give it a new heading name called the combined name. So we must type it in with caps lock button, caps lock, capital letter or uppercase. Combined name. But what do you notice now? The word name is across into another block. So we just need to again, with a cross in between, auto fit the column so we can see the word name of the word combined name in one cell. Double click. Right, with my mouse, I double clicked. Right, now in column D4, read the question, column D4. Use the concatenate formula by joining the first and the second name. So first name and second name. In the previous exercise, it was Pretorius Eddie. Now we're going to have it as Eddie Pretorius. First name and second name. Step 1. Place my mouse where I want it to appear. The answer. Step 2. What is step 2? Formulas. Search the recently used, and we use that called the concatenate. What are we going to text first? We're going to text the name. Did I say with a space in between? Let's have a look here. By joining the first name, the second name. Okay, so they don't speak about any space, but I mean, if they don't ask you a space, people, how can you just put your first name with your second name with no space in between? So we're going to make a new space, and I'm going to use the minus sign in this example. I click over there, open my inverted commas with a minus sign, close my inverted commas, as that's going to be as a space. And in my third text, I'm going to type in my second name or my surname in this case, which is that over there. Can you see there? And can you see the preview? That is how it's going to look. And I say, okay. Autofill, bottom right-hand corner, and pull it down. And what do we do again? Do another double click to autofit to make sure that the words fit properly, and another double click, and another double click just to autofit to see if everything is fine. Right. Autofill, we did do light home tab again. Where's the color light blue? Place all borders and a thick box border around the whole document. So from here, all shade in first, step 1, click and drag the way down to 12 and release my finger off the mouse. Step 2, borders and shading, all borders. Step 3, they still want me to put a thick box border around the perimeter of this data. Again there, with a thick box. Let's first see how it looks now. That is how the document looks with all borders. Now we're going to select this area again, and we're going to see if we can find a thick box outside border. Now you will see a thick line running around over there. Perfect. Now, this is that one we did. This is also a very, very important question in your exam, and also for you to know. We sorted our data. There's that feature over there in class in the previous exercise where we just clicked on easy peasy A and B. And I said, students, later on in class, we're going to use another type of sorting called custom sort. And that is what they're asking me right here, because now they want me to sort information from A to Z order on the surname column. So in other words, A, B, C, D must be over there. E, F, G must be the second one. G, H, I, J, H must be the third one. H, I, J, K, H, yeah. L, M, N, O, M, N must be there. So this information is all in mixed form, but we now need to sort this information in alphabetical order, but they want me to sort it on the surname alphabetical order. So now, what's very important about this type of sorting is that we need to select very carefully what we want to sort. So we're going to shade in the subheadings. That's the main heading, students. This is what we call a subheading. And I'm going to shade this area in. Click and drag with my mouse and release my finger. Left click. We are going to now go to sort feature, but we're going to custom sort, and we're going to sort by what? If I click on that down arrow, what do you see there? And what do you see there? The subheadings are in there. And in this case, the question asks us to sort the subheading on the surname. Okay, I can't move it. On the surname only, not on the name, not on that, but on this column here. Which is column surname, the question. Sort the information in A to Z order, which is in ascending, but on the surname column. And when I click on OK, you're going to see the Didi. You're going to see the Groenewald. Second, you're going to see the Hawker. Third, like this. I will do it again one more time. I'm going to undo like it was before. Step 1. Shade in the information with the headings because we're going to sort on the question reads ascending order on surname. On surname. Step 2. Sorting the data and filtering. Step 3. It's a custom sort because we're sorting it on what column? On column B, which is known as the surname B, surname C, first name D, combined E. We're focusing on column B, which is the surname column. In A to Z, in alphabetical order or ascending order, or from smallest to biggest, and all the cells, and okay. 3 marks. Let me have a sip of my water. What's the last part? Rename sheet 1 to staff list and save your work. Easy peasy. With my mouse, right click on the sheet 1, that's sheet 2, that is sheet 3. We don't need sheet 3, we can delete it. There's no information here. We don't need sheet 2, there's no information here, but they didn't ask me to delete it. On sheet 1, they want me to right click with my mouse and rename it to staff list. And I click anywhere away, 2 marks over there, staff list, and save your work. I can even change the color quickly. Tab, I right click on there and I want to change this color to a blue. Look there. Can you see what you can do to all these sheets here? You can delete it. You can insert a new one, a new worksheet, which will be sheet 2 or sheet 1. Can you see? I've just made a new sheet. I can right click. I can delete the sheet. I can right click. I can add a color to the sheet. I can rename the sheet. I can even move the sheet. Not find any threads. Oh, okay, cool. In other words, I did an auto scan. My computer is clean. I can click on this thing right here. You see that little black triangle arrow. I click away. I keep my finger on the mouse and I can move that sheet so that it's shown to the front. I can move. I click on my star sheet. I click with my mouse until that little triangle appears. And I move my mouse a little bit to the left or to the right or to the left. And I release my finger. I move the staff list to appear first and sheet 2 to appear second. So those are things I will show you in class as well. Students, that is your 3 exercises, 3.3, 3.4, 3.5, and 3.6. Very important exercises. What else can we do here? We can add numbers in here before we leave. I can click on 1. But why must I type 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7? I click away. I click on that 1. I can autofill that down with my black cross in the bottom right hand corner over there. But what do you see now? You wanted to run in an order. You wanted to run in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It's all 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. Now you see that little black white box here. I click on that down arrow. I want to use the autofill, which I did use now, but I don't want to copy the cells. I want to fill it with series. Like a sequence, like year, month, January, February, March, April. I wanted to run in an order. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So if I click on that button over there, and what happens? It did it for me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. If I click on January here, and I click on February over here, and I don't need to click on March, April, May, June, July, August. I can click on Jan and I use that little cross. Look what happens on the right hand side. Can you see? It's like a little small preview. April, May, June, July, August. When I release my finger from my mouse up to December, I pulled it and I release my finger. It will do it for me. So watch out for copy series and fill series and autofill. And delete. I was just showing you an example. And save. And save your file as your surname, your student, your group A, B, C, E, C, P, F, P, what's that, PT, FW, your group, yes, and your exercise 3 point whatever. And upload to the submission links on Blackboard. So we cover 3.3, we cover 3.4, 3.5, and 3.6 today, students. Very important exercises. This is June exam. In this exercise, we did concatenate. We merged and center. We used the odd, the paint format painter to apply information so that it looks exactly the same like the number. We changed the font size. We typed in an odd number font size. Watch out for that. We changed the actual font. We inserted a new column. We renamed the column. We typed in the name of the column. We auto-fitted the columns. We used the autofill feature with concatenate to pull the formula down. We used the fill series over there to complete the autofill series in a chronological or alphabetical or systematical order. What else can we do? What else did we do? We can change this font size and make this as a main heading and make it 17. 17. And I click on enter. And I can bold this heading. And I can italics this heading. And I can change the different color of the background to this heading to blue. And I can even change the color of this font of this heading to red or yellow or orange. But orange looks so blur. Let's make it red. I applied all borders to the document. I applied a tick box border around it. And I saved it. Students, that is your 3 exercises, 3.4, 3.5, 3.6. Watch the video. Practice makes perfect. And the mock test we'll also focus on. There's 2 more exercises, 3.7 and 3.8, which is also very, very important. And we will focus on these 3 exercises and the other 2 in this week and next week. It's a very short week, students, because it's Easter on Friday. So I see you Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and lecturers will probably see you also. We'll miss out on Friday. So practice makes perfect. Watch the video. All right. Cheers, guys. Let me exit. Let me go back to my screen. Where's my Blackboard now? There. Over there. And I'll see you guys. Right? Stop sharing. Close. Stop the sharing. Back to my normal screen. See you guys. Take care. And